Exodus chapter 10, verses 1 through 29, KJV Bible Study. Hello, everyone. Today we will study Exodus chapter 10, verses 1 through 29, from the King James Version of the Bible. Let us begin by understanding the context. The people of Israel are still enslaved in Egypt. God has already sent multiple plagues to Pharaoh, yet his heart remains hardened. These plagues are not random disasters. They are divine judgments, revealing the sovereignty of God over Egypt and its gods. Verses 1 through 2, God's purpose in judgment. God tells Moses that he has hardened Pharaoh's heart so that his signs may be multiplied, and so that future generations will know that he is the Lord. From a Hebrew perspective, the concept of knowing God is not merely intellectual, it is experiential. God is revealing himself through history. Spiritually, this teaches us something very important. Sometimes God allows resistance and difficulty not just to overcome them, but to reveal his glory more clearly. Even in our lives today, struggles may not be meaningless. They may be part of God's greater revelation. Verses 3 through 20, the plague of locusts. Moses and Aaron warn Pharaoh again. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before God? This question is deeply spiritual. Pride is the greatest barrier between man and God. Pharaoh offers a partial compromise, only the men may go to worship. But Moses refuses. God does not accept partial obedience. Then the plague of locusts comes. The locusts cover the land, devouring everything left after the hail. Egypt, once a symbol of abundance, becomes a place of total devastation. From a theological perspective, this is a direct attack on Egypt's economic power and agricultural gods. Spiritually, this represents what happens when sin is left. Unchecked, it consumes everything. Pharaoh quickly confesses, saying, "I have sinned against the Lord your God." But this repentance is temporary. Once relief comes, his heart hardens again. This reveals a critical truth. Not all repentance is genuine. True repentance leads to transformation, not temporary regret. Verses 21 through 29. The plague of darkness. God then sends a thick darkness over Egypt for 3 days. This darkness is not just physical, it is symbolic. In Hebrew thought, darkness represents chaos, judgment, and separation from God's presence. Egypt worshipped the sun god Ra. By sending darkness, God is declaring his authority over even the greatest Egyptian deity. Yet, notice something powerful. All the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. This is a profound spiritual message. Even when the world is in darkness, God's people walk in light. Pharaoh again tries to negotiate this time, allowing the people to go but demanding that their livestock remain. Again, partial surrender. But Moses refuses. God demands complete obedience, not half measures. Pharaoh then becomes angry and says Moses will never see his face again. Moses responds, "Thou hast spoken well, I will see thy face again no more." This marks a turning point. Judgment is about to reach its climax. Spiritual meaning in God's will. What does this passage teach us today? First, God is sovereign over all things, nations, nature, and history. Second, pride hardens the heart. Pharaoh is not just a historical figure, he represents the human condition apart from God. Third, partial obedience is still disobedience. God is not looking for negotiation, he is looking for surrender. Fourth, true repentance must be lasting, not temporary. And finally, even in judgment, God is revealing himself not only to Egypt, but to Israel and to all future generations. Application to our lives today. In our modern world, people often try to control their lives without God. Like Pharaoh, many say yes temporarily in moments of crisis, but return to their old ways when things improve. But God calls us to something deeper, a life of true surrender, a life of humility, a life of obedience. When we walk with God, even in darkness, we will have light. And that light is not from ourselves, it is from God. Conclusion. Exodus 10 is not just about plagues. It is about the battle between pride and surrender. Darkness and light, judgment and revelation. And ultimately, it points us to the truth. God is the Lord, and he desires not just to judge, but to be known. Thank you.